Hey everyone, this is John Ryan, the co-founder of the Life Change Network and creator of the 7% Solution. And welcome to the 7% Club. Our situation today comes from Christine, who writes, "My friends are telling me that I need to slow down, but I think that they're crazy. I run circles around them, getting more done during my lunch hour than they do all day. They think I can't possibly keep up the pace and say this is why I tend to catch every cold and flu that goes around. Everybody gets sick sometimes, and I don't think my busy schedule has anything to do with it. What do you think? Do I need to slow things down and risk becoming an underachiever?" You bring up some interesting points, Christine. First, let me say that I'm a big fan of being productive. I love taking action and getting things done, but there's a difference between running yourself ragged to the point of exhaustion and being highly effective. The first thing I'd like you to do is to take an honest look at your life and ask if it's really working for you. Your friends seem to think it's not, but you think it is. So how do you get some clarity on the situation? Here's a little technique I like for these kinds of situations. First, when you look at your life from your friend's perspective, what do you see? Try to find the things that are jumping out to them as problems in your life. Next, look at the situation between you and your friends from the perspective and point of view of an outside observer. What might someone who's not involved in the issue at all think is going on here? Would they find merit in the things that your friends are concerned about? If after doing this exercise, you can see that there might be some opportunities for improvement in how you manage your time and your schedule, I've got some ideas for you to help you find that sweet spot of performance where you're still highly effective without the crash that comes from trying to burn the candle at both ends. Number one, many people who try to get too much done have a tendency to underestimate how long things take. They think that they can run to the post office, stop by the grocery store, return something to a store, and send out an itinerary for an important meeting in about a half an hour during their lunch break. While I appreciate that optimism, sometimes it's just not realistic and it leaves them scrambling and running late as they try to meet their unrealistic expectations. One thing you can do to really get a handle on how long things take is to use a time log. A time log can be a huge eye-opener. When you get into the habit of writing down how much time you actually spend on things, it shines a bright light on those unrealistic expectations. If you find out that you never get out of a meeting with your boss in less than half an hour, well, then you know that you can no longer expect those meetings to last just 15 minutes. With your expectations in check, you can now begin to schedule your time with more realistic assumptions. Now, don't get me wrong. I love those adrenaline-filled moments when you're trying to get things done and you have more things to do than time will allow, and somehow you still manage to pull it off. But there's a fine line between reaching for more performance and setting yourself up to fail. If you think you're too busy to take the time to do a time log, if that's what's really going through your head right now, guess what? You need a time log because you're probably overscheduled. Remember, you don't have to track your time minute to minute. You can use time blocks of 15 minutes, half an hour if you want, whatever works for you. The second thing I want to share with you is that I also want you to include a buffer time in your schedule. If your schedule has task after task, meeting after meeting, all bumping up against one another, you need to factor in some buffer time. Buffer time is empty space in your schedule. It's your backup, your insurance plan, in case you underestimate how long a task is really going to take. Let's face it, even if you set a realistic timeline for your project, things can happen that you weren't expecting, and that's life. If you've included some buffer time in your schedule, you can now handle the project without being late for your next commitment. My father-in-law is fond of saying that whenever you get an estimate, either in time or in cost, you should always double it and add 10%. And it's really amazing how often that rule of thumb is dead on. If you have people around you who are chronically late with deliverables, and this impacts you in some way, you can start adding in buffer time for them too. Set the deadlines a little bit earlier than you actually need them. That way you can easily adapt to someone else running a little bit late. The third thing you need to keep in mind is that not all tasks are created equal. People who are overscheduled often have a tough time prioritizing. To them, each task looks urgent and important, but that's just not the case. Get in the habit of ranking your tasks each day. You can rank them based on any value you choose, but some of the more common ones are urgency, importance, impact, or effort. You choose the value that matters most to you and then tackle the tasks in that order. Remember, be realistic about how many things on the list you can actually get done in the amount of time that you have. And finally, leverage your time by getting help from other people. Keep in mind that all tasks are not created equal and that not all tasks must be completed by you. This gives you some flexibility in your schedule. Look at your time log and ask yourself, what could be done by someone else? What can I outsource so that I have more time to focus on what is important? What can I hand off or automate so that I do a better job on the things that matter most? And here's a tweet tip for your friends and followers. Refusing to ask for help when you need it is refusing someone the chance to be helpful. There are people out there right now just waiting to offer a helping hand. Give them the chance to help lessen your workload. Top performers know that they can't do it all by themselves. Christine, those 4 things are huge. If you did just those 4 things, accurately estimate your time, build in buffers, prioritize, and outsource, you can continue being a high performer while reducing your stress level as well. That's it for now. If you got some ideas to share about how to go for it in life while making sure that you're not burning yourself out, I want to hear about it in the comment sections. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like it, subscribe, and also share. Looking for more tips and strategies from top performers? Stop by and check out the 7% blog at 7%solution.com. Thank you for watching. Until next time, remember to develop yourself, empower others, and lead by example.